Hello and welcome to this tithes and offerings capturing sheet. What this is it is made for churches, but obviously you could, I suppose, use it for anywhere where a collection is taken. But essentially, what it does is it provides a tool where the counters can fill in what's been counted, which they could pass on to the admin staff of the office, who could correct anything that needs to be corrected in order to pass on to the accountant ultimately, um, to track the money that's coming in. Because I do realize, having been on a few counting teams in a few different churches, that sometimes this process can be less than smooth running. What this doesn't do, it doesn't connect with any accounting package. It doesn't, excuse me, it doesn't allow you a system internally in order to process credit cards or anything like that. So what it's assuming is, I'm assuming, having created this, that you would have envelopes that you would give to your congregation in order to fill in their details. It assumes that you have a system in order to process credit or debit card payments. And obviously, all it does is it takes the information that you gather on the morning, passing it through between the counters, the admin staff, and the accountant to make sure that everything is in fact correct. So let me show you how this works. This is what you will receive as you as you scroll down. There's some instructions there. I'd read that. This video, if you click on that link there, which isn't in place yet, but that link will link back to this video, so you'll be able to watch this again just using the link. Here, you'll once you've purchased the product, you'll have your church name in here. In the demo version, you can fill your own church name in. But then what do you call each of the services? I put the default in as first service, second service, first special offering, second special offering. If you don't have special offerings, but you maybe got an evening service, you can change those accordingly. And then just put the date of the collection in. And that's all you need to fill in over there. Once you've done that, I suggest you go to the database. The database, I've just put in some random names there and some codes. Put in the names of your congregation. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can see you've got 6,000 that you can put in there. Put in the name of the congregational member and their giving ID. You're able to sort it, and also whether, if they're on a permanent gift date, in other words, if they've signed a declaration to say that all of their money that they give is gift dated, put a tick in there. Otherwise, leave it blank. Once you've got that database will be available in other sheets, which I'll show you in a second. As we go back there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 being the first service. There it is. So after the first service, I've put in some things here already. Let's just do this. Let me add in another one. What you need to do is you need to fill in all of the green blocks. So what you do is you click on the giving ID. So as you're going along, you don't fill that status in. The black is automatically generated. The red you only fill in if you need to. The green you must fill in. So for argument's sake, we'll start over here. We'll click over here and we'll find the giving aid of the person who is being selected. So what we'll do here is we'll select this. Actually, we've done that one. Let's select this AD over there. As you select that, when you click on the next one, the name, that person's name will be in the drop-down list. If you want to select that person, that's fine. Then you can say here, if they give, say for argument's sake, £30, and then all you need to do is select, is it a cash, check, card, IOU. If you select, say for argument's sake, cash, if the cash is incorrect, so if they say actually, if they've put in the envelope that they're giving £50 and they've only put £30 in the envelope, then what you would do is you would say the cash is incorrect, which you can mark that, which then all that does is it puts a little exclamation mark there which says for the office. So the office will be able to see on the report that actually there are missing details on that. They can then go back to here, see what it is that they need to follow up, and see the cash was actually incorrect. The idea here is to then make a photocopy of the envelope, which you can hand over as well, to show them where the discrepancy is. But if everything's all good, then you can leave that blank. If you were to change this to, say, a check, if everything's in order, then that's great. If the check's all fine. If there's a problem on the check and you need to notify them that there's actually a problem, if you scroll across, you will see here, in line with that, is the line to notify them if there's any information missing or incorrect on the check. So say for argument's sake the person didn't sign the check, you can go over there and you can click that there's a missing signature, which then would indicate that there's one missing detail and would show there that there's an admin responsibility on this line. Once the admin staff then sees this, when they come on, they can see on their report there's one missing detail. They can go across there, make sure there it is, scroll across, okay, the signature's missing. They can then go to the person, get them to sign the check. Once that's all correct, they can just remove that, and then it ticks off to say that that is in fact now all correct. So that is what you can do with that. If we were to change this now from a check, say, to a card, it's the same thing. There, that will go yellow. It tells you need to fill something in. That goes to a plus, which says the counter still has an obligation. The counter needs to come here. Have you processed the check? The card payment? Did it fail? If it failed, it wouldn't go through for some reason. Are there missing details? Are you unsure of what's happened? Was the system down? There's some of the options. So if it's processed, you click process, tick all good. If you say actually they're missing details, then all of a sudden what missing details were there? If you say for argument's sake that the name on the card was missing, that will say there you go, off to the office. The office need to ring up and find out the person's name. Again, give them a copy of the envelope. If you realize that's not quite right and you find the details, you can just backspace, remove that, and go here and say actually it has been processed, all's good, and then it goes down as a card payment which has been processed. If you wish to add someone on, let's just say someone by the name of Cliff Johnson. Johnson comes into church. You click enter. It says the name that you have inserted is not on the list. If this is correct, please continue. And you say yes, that is correct. They've given, say, £20 in cash. Now, let's just say for argument's sake, Cliff Johnson has signed that he actually wants to give today and in the future on gift aid. So there will be a box on your envelope of do they want to give with a gift aid declaration. And let's just say Cliff Johnson actually wants to donate now and in the future. You can click that over there. And what that does now is, although it's processed and it's gone through, it shows the admin staff that there's something that needs to be done there. And if you have a look on the report, that will say giving IDs to add 1, missing details 1, and gift aid changes 1, which means that essentially when they go there, they can see missing details. Yes, the number on that card was missing, was untidy, so they need to phone that person, get the card. So when the admin staff then get to the office and they actually go, they'll see this document. Hold on, one more thing. The counters, the last thing they would need to do is if they scroll across the right hand side, here is the cash. So the counters would have to go £100 notes, how many, £50 notes, £20 notes, £10, 5. How many of them are there? Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Put in 1, 2, so on and so forth, which then basically counts up how much cash you've got. You need to fill in all of these. Now, I know there's no £100 note, but I put that in there just for future in case they come up with one. What you would do there is just put in a 0 if there's nothing. Once you've filled in all of these details, it'll say, okay, yes, you've counted the cash. It will check that this cash amount actually is equal to or greater than the total amount said that has come in cash, because obviously if that amount is less than this, then something's wrong. And that will then tick off the total cash is £220. As you can see, because this cash has come in at £20, it now says that it's wrong, because actually that cash can't be that. So let's just say there were actually 10 of those. See, now it says, okay, fine, that cash is totaled. It looks all right. It obviously is not going to tell exactly if it's been counted correctly, because it can't, but it's just going to check to see that this cash that's totaled up here is in fact greater or equal to the cash that's in there, and that in fact all of these numbers have been filled in. So that means that if you have a look on the report, everything's good. for the counter, everything's been done. That's checked off, that's counted. It's all ready for the admin staff have to do some work. This can then be saved and sent across to the admin staff in the office. So they wouldn't have necessarily have spoken to the counters. They will receive this, and then what they can do is they can actually go to report, see, okay, there's one giving aid to add, one missing details that they need to find, and one gift aid changes. So if they go to number 1, they can see, okay, this first one, there it is. They can see what's missing. Okay, the number on the card is missing details. They can then phone up the person, actually get the correct number, which means they can remove that. They can then process the card payment, click processed, which means boom, that's now done and ready for the accountant. What's the next one? Is this one here. Cliff Johnson needs to be added to the database, so they can actually come here and put in Cliff Johnson. They can then give their code, whatever their giving ID would be, and they can tick yes, they are in fact on gift aid, which means when they come back here again, they can go here to Cliff Johnson, select his number, and then everything's ticked. He actually is giving, so they can remove that to say there it's on gift aid. Everybody's happy, all of those ticks, which now they go to report and everything's been checked off. There's the cash, there are the card payments, there are the checks, cash has been checked, £410 total, that's the total for the day. And they can then hand that over to the accountant who's got all of these details, who's paid what, who's on gift aid, exactly what the accountant would need. How much cash was taken, there's the total cash count. Everything's as per the accountant, as per everyone's checked it. The accountants have checked it, the admin staff's checked it, the accountant's got the details. All the accompanying envelopes that were problems were with it, who have now been destroyed. Obviously, they can throw the envelopes away or file them once they've got all of this detail taken. Once they've got all of these details, and as you can see, this would obviously be able to help with this report as well on a daily basis as to exactly what's going on. I think you'll find that quite useful as a tool to be passed on between the three groups of people. So if this is something that you're interested in, please do go and purchase it. Otherwise, keep an eye out on the website for some more products that will come in soon. And yes, all the best with your church. Thank you very much. Bye bye.